I kind of want to talk big picture for 2025. I know there's a lot of economists and just experts are predicting a much busier 2025, which I also agree with. But looking at the big picture and as we're getting into the new year, what trends or changes do you guys see kind of shaping the real estate landscape? I know we've had quite a few changes this year, right? A much softer market, but also some other changes that have happened in our industry with NAR and all that. But what changes do you see shaping the real estate landscape, and how should agents or teams adjust their goals to align with those changes? And Damon, I'll start with you on that one.
Yeah, I think some of the recent changes with NAR is, kind of changed the landscape a little bit. There's been an adjustment period, I think, coming into, September for us, at least our team. A lot of training, a lot of focus around, somewhat of a newer way of doing business. But I think that, that's kind of it. It feels like everybody's kind of wrapped their arms around that at this point in time. It seems like everybody's made those subtle adjustments, and there's no, earth-shattering changes that a lot of people were talking about. Now, you might see some shifting in the marketplace. You may see agents, agent count, they're saying may, continue to reduce slightly, just because of the skill set now that it's going to require in, sitting down with the buyer, doing a buyer consultation. So that's where we've put a lot of our energy is, no longer what people would call door openers. And you meet a buyer at the property and open the door, and then you get a big commission check, right? If you do everything right. Now it's a matter of earning that buyer's trust, building rapport, sitting down with them, doing a great consultation, having them sign that BBRA in the Las Vegas real estate market here, and then going out and showing them properties and representing them through the transaction. And so we've already started to see success. We've actually started to see where some of the commissions that we're collecting are maybe even a little bit higher, because we're now able to put that on the BBRA and put it in an offer. And with inventory climbing, right, in our market, inventory has been climbing. So we're a little bit of flexibility in earning a fair commission as a buyer, broker, buyer agent as well. I think that going into 2025, listings are always the focus for us. We want more listing inventory, need more listing inventory, even though things have settled a little bit here and inventory staying on the market a little bit better. So we've also invested in our agents in just educating them on better conversations with sellers, how to get the property priced correctly, given the market being a little bit softer now. And as we enter into 2025, for our market, we usually are a little bit slower into the January and February, through the holidays into January, February, start picking it up. So the focus for us is going to be to carry more listing inventory, right? Listings bring opportunity. It brings buyers, right? If you want leads, go get a listing and you have leads, right? So investing in our agents to make sure that they are, set up. We've launched a few recent tools and resources for agents to just be more successful in sitting in front of a seller, actually getting in front of a seller, generating seller leads, and then ultimately earning the listing, to start opening up doors of opportunity with listing inventory.
I love it. Huge. Michelle, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think that listings are always going to be important. And I think that what we're going to be seeing now is a lot of generational living, people living with each other, generations living with each other. And so acquiring properties like that, or making sure that properties like that get built out. I know it seems like COVID is far, far away, but there's some people kind of just still entering back into the workforce, while some are embracing working rurally. So I think it's important for agents to kind of niche down on some of these areas and highlight these areas and market these areas and set themselves apart from just what everyone else is doing. Another change in regards to the NAR changes, because that is always a topic of conversation. I appreciate the changes. One, because it's going to allow the agent to really understand the value that they bring to the table. I think a listing agent has a little more understanding of that, because they've represented buyers in the past and understand what it takes to move a property. But the buyer's agent, unfortunately, when they're coming new into the industry, they're relying on the listing agent to do some of the work. So I appreciate the changes because it's important for the buyer's agent to understand what their role is, what their responsibilities, the value that they bring to the table, and present that. So in regards to compensation, I think that some people are having challenges having those conversations with potential buyers and potentially sellers because we as agents do not completely understand our role and what we're supposed to do. If we can make like an itemized list of what our responsibilities and our role is, I think that we'll have a better conversation or more confidence when we're having those conversations about compensation. In regards to other trends and changes, I think that AI is going to continue to step in. But in regards to that, how do we then be different? We got to go back to just some of that antiquated marketing, but throw that AI in there, right? So we got to go back to the personal touch, the snail mail, the postcard, the handwritten note, right? And let our potential clients know that we are human. So I think that amidst leveraging all this technology, there has to be a human touch from the agent. And that's what's going to help them in 2025 big picture.
I love that too. Yeah, the couple of things that stuck out there was niche, right? So everyone on the call, do you have a niche? Do you have a specialty? Do you have a lot of knowledge in one specific thing that you can leverage and just double down on in regards to real estate? And then absolutely the technology. I mean, if you guys have been on trainings before, you know I'm big on ChatGPT and video marketing and all that stuff. And I agree, Michelle. I think it's you know, we still have to have that personal touch, but how can we leverage this technology to help us with admin type stuff or back end stuff or just ideas and suggestions and you know, leverage it in an assistant way to just help you with a lot of the different tasks that we
Yeah,
have.
just a post or even email campaigning, like use these tools to leverage. People like, oh, AI is going to take over. No, the agent that does not know how to use AI will be lost. They will be replaced by an agent that does know how to use AI.
For sure. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of fear behind advancements in technology and AI. But the other day I was researching to prepare for um, a different session, and 94% of all car accidents in the United States are caused by human error. Right. So, but with smart vehicles, artificial intelligence, all that can reduce the 30,000 lives that are taken by 90% with that. So next time you see a driverless, a human takes average 1.5 seconds to react to something, and technology or AI can react within milliseconds. So next time you see a driverless vehicle, they may be able to see and react things that we can't do. But don't fear technology is my point.
That's right. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pros and cons on, well, anyway, yeah, it is true. That is the justification they will take eventually to where no one's able to drive their own car. But that's probably 50 years in the future. So enjoy driving while you can. No, but it is true though. It would be safer, you know, if it's all running that way, which is very there. On to the, you know, outlook for next year. You know, honestly, I've been coaching our agents, you know, same thing is 2025 starts now. It started last month, it started the month before. You guys, if you want to have closings in January and February, you've got to be prospecting right now. You need to be talking to your people. In real estate, this is a 30, 60, 90-day lag period for any conversations you're having today. And that's just something you always have to have in your mind. Like you constantly need to be looking ahead and understanding like, where is my next deal coming from? And so just putting that little piece out there, because we're going to get into it more later. The other thing is 2025, I think is actually going to be a very solid year for real estate. Overall, better than 23 and better than 24. You know, no matter what kind of happens with interest rates. Interest rates are high. They look like they'll probably stay on the higher side, but people are, you know, they're coming to grips with it, I would say is the easiest way to think about it, because it doesn't look like we're going to get any grand relief. We might get a little bit. And that being said, so people are kind of understanding, okay, this is quote unquote the new normal. and maybe it'll get slightly better, but I think that's going to be a little bit improving. But I do feel overall people will probably feel a little better maybe about the economy and different things. So we're looking forward to having, you know, a better take the last 2 years. I do think 2025 is going to be better, meaning higher sales, a bigger piece of pie for you to go after and get yours. We have less agents, or, you know, there were a lot of agents that left the market over the last couple of years because going was tough, or tougher than it was, let's say, in the boom times. But so those who are putting in the work today, next week, next month, they're going to really benefit. So if that's you on the other end, you know, start working out your plans and your goals for 2025 and how you are going to crush it. Because it is going to be a great year. And just real quick on compensation, you know, just what they said before, right now, you're able to really set that price as a buyer's agent, and you're not as dictated as you were once before of, oh, that guy's only, you know, offering 2 bananas, whatever you want to say. And so now, you know your worth. You are worth it. Put in the work, make yourself, you know, available all the times, all those things, but you are worth it. We bring a lot of value to the table. We bring, whether you're listing properties or representing the buyer, you bring a lot of value to the table, and understand that, deliver that value, and then collect your check at the end of the day.
I love that. Absolutely. And just to piggyback on the goal part of it, what's a tangible goal that you're setting for the upcoming year, Morgan?
Yeah, so we have quite a few. You know, so we recently we made in February of last year, we made the move over to Real Broker and brought the team in that with us. And so within that, we always are looking to grow and expand the team with great agents. And so we've been able to, you know, there's been a number of great agents over the last few years, or the last year especially, that have joined forces with us, and some real power players and big hitters. So for us, we're always looking to gain our transaction count. We've you know, we want to increase that bottom line. So we'd like to close, you know, we'd like to break our all-time highs, which is 115 million. So I know that is something we're looking at. I think we'll finish just over 100 this year, which in a down, you know, year is pretty definitely solid. But I definitely think we can eclipse that. The team is crushing it, you know, listings. There's a lot of listings helping our, you know, getting sold in that. And honestly, it's not a bad time to rep a buyer. That's the thing. So those buyers, they have deadlines, they have time frames. There's a lot of opportunity as far as stuff to choose from. So, you know, it's a great time to be in real estate. And if you've made it through the last couple of years, pat yourself on the back and get to work, because 2025 is going to be good again, or whatever you want to say, but it should be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the critical part, right? Is just making sure that we're prepared, putting in the work now to anticipate for that busier year. Damon, what's a tangible goal that you may have for yourself in your own business or for the team?
Yeah, so we had some restructuring. I call this a growth year for us. You know, there's some relationships that I unwound and new relationships that I've brought on. So we're gonna close 2023. I think we did 136 million in sales volume, 200, just right around 300 transactions. You know, we're going to finish above 100 million this year, right around maybe 250 transactions. I'm looking at, you know, I'd like to hit, you know, right around 150 million in 2025, right around 300 transactions.
Yeah, awesome.
With about an average sales price. Our average sales price has gone up a little bit. That'll help, obviously, with the volume. So we're looking at, you know, probably around a 500,000 average sales price. Absolutely. And love to get the agent count up as well. Right now we currently have about 125 agents, so we'll continue to grow that up as well.
That's quite a team. Michelle, what's a tangible goal that you have for 2025?
I was about to say, you talking about you on the wrong panel there. I'm on the wrong panel. Me. So I know that y'all are broker owners, team owners. I am the training director here at Integrity at our office. But I'm a single agent. I'm a single agent. I started off on a team 8 years ago
Yeah.
and changes. I'm now a solo agent, so I'll be speaking to the solo agents on here. My goal, though I've been in the industry for almost 8 years, I haven't hit six figures yet. I haven't. So my goal is to hit six figures with just production. My overall goal is to be very clear on all of the things that I do that create income, right? So my investment property, right? Coaching as a business coach, production, and just have clarity on my message. What I hear a lot is that people don't know what I do, or some people ask me if I'm still in real estate. That's a problem. That's a problem. I have to keep the main thing, and the main thing will always be real estate. What's
Mhm.
secondary to me is the business coaching, but I coach real estate professionals. So I have to keep the main thing. So I really want to blow up on production and see numbers I've never ever seen before as a solo agent. And I plan on doing that by truly implementing systems. Like I've never really had a good crack at that the way that I've wanted to.
Mhm.
So production wise, my first six figures. Overall, just goals in general, I would love to make 1 million on my own through all of my money generating activities, passive and active. Those are my goals. And then on a personal basis, would love to acquire 2 more multifamily units and also spend more time with the hubby and the kids. If I when I put the right systems in place and use them the way that they are supposed to be used, I will have more time for my family and my husband.
I love that
That
you brought that up because, right, systems, I wrote that down, systems and processes. Guys, I know Damon's got a ton of systems and processes. Morgan in the team has tons of systems and processes, right? Those top producing agents always refine their processes, audit them, implement new things, whatever it's going to work. So as you're going through today and through the end of the year, you have to incorporate that into your business plan. What systems are currently working for you? Which ones are not? Which ones need to be swapped out or just completely gotten rid of, right? Your database, follow up, your time blocking, your scheduling, where's your prospecting time going in, right? How does all that play into your business in 2025? So I'm
Justin, I don't mean to interrupt, but if I can just say, if your system right now is Post-it notes, that is okay. Okay? If your system right now is a legal pad, that is okay. The one thing that Justin just said right now that is very important is that you have to continuously evolve and tweak and shift your system. So you
Yeah.
can't be 10 years in still using Post-its, right? The reason why Morgan and Damon can run a team and run brokerages is because they have learned how to put systems in place. So if that system right now is a Post-it note, move into an Excel sheet. If that system right now is a legal pad, move it to an Excel sheet. If you're using an Excel sheet now, plug it into a CRM. Like it has to continuously evolve, and you have to move it from Post-it note to automation. When it's all said and done, Jesus, please, y'all correct me, right? Because like I said, this is what I'm working on. More than 50% of your touches should be automated. But again, y'all let me know if that's accurate, because that's what I'm trying to get to. I might be missing the goal, right?
No, I think it's important to point out that you don't have to dive in with the bells and whistles and right away. You have to start somewhere and what's manageable. Just like when I talk about social media and all that stuff, like, sure, should you post 7 times a day on one platform to get, the greatest reach and all that? Possibly, but I know that that's not realistic, right? What can you guys manage? Can you post 3 times a week? Whatever it is, but you have to be consistent at it. But the point is, you have to start small, make it manageable, and then you're building and evolving with that there. Before I move on, I just want to, if everyone in the chat wants to throw it in the chat box, I'm curious to see I want to make this collaborative. What is a tangible goal that you have in your head that you want to do in 2025? Maybe it inspires someone else on the call or starts getting the creativity going and thinking for that. But I'm curious to see what everyone else's tangible goals. While they're doing that, Michelle, you brought up clarity, which takes us down the path of this big picture, right? Business planning seems kind of overwhelming, and it's just real estate itself. We wear so many different hats. So as we're diving into this, how do you narrow down and prioritize goals to focus what truly moves the needle for their business? And are there any specific methods that you use personally to avoid spreading yourself too thin?
Oh, wow. To move the needle, I really think that we just still have to go back down to basics, right? The most important thing that I learned how to do for myself, that help the mindset, right? Because it's about a shift in your head. Like you got to figure out what you need to do to get you going. The first thing that I started doing for myself was using a planner. And you're like, well, that's just dumb. Like we're supposed to get some strategies on here, right? But it's about getting into the habit of just writing stuff down. Like in January, we all use the planner how we're supposed to. And then when we stop using it like we're supposed to, we put the whole planner to the side and don't do anything with it. And then it's just chaos. Even if you stop using the planner the way that you were supposed to, just keep writing in the planner. Like the things that stay in your head are fleeing thoughts. And until you go like this and put pen to paper, you cannot take actionable steps on any of that. Right. So that was something I learned about 6 or 7 years ago, is just writing stuff down, putting it in a planner so you can turn it into actionable steps. And then the biggest thing that I've recently done, that just changed my whole world around, that helped me really move the needle, was time blocking and time management. I've always used a calendar to put my stuff in it. Like I've put the stuff in the calendar, but those are like appointments, personal stuff, a Zoom call that I gotta make sure I don't miss. We gotta add all the other things that we're supposed to be doing to the calendar and really create a schedule for ourselves. When we're going from an employee mindset, from when we were employed, right? Let's say we were working, we were military, or we had a full-time job, we're clocking in at 8 and someone's telling us what to do. Most people come into this industry because they want the freedom of time, they want flexibility, they want to do things when they want, but that only works if you're putting 120 hours into your week every week. Then you get to put all the other things that you want. But the calendar is detrimental because it really allows you to figure out what you need to do. It gives you clarity. And though it seems like you're micromanaging yourself, what the calendar does is it gives you time back. And that's what we all want, is time back. I don't have enough time to do this. Yeah, you have to make the time. And the only way to make the time is to put it in your calendar and follow your calendar.
For sure. And I love that you said time blocking, because I'm huge on that. And I think that we have to give our business, working on our business, the same attention that, we put in our calendar a listing appointments, right? It's critical to keep the machine going. So I definitely think time blocking. Damon, what about you?
Yeah, I love everything Michelle said. There's so many things that, that we, that are repetitive here, which I love hearing, because it's the fundamentals. It really is the fundamentals. Okay. And, one of the things I do a lot of business planning with my agents. I actually do business planning for outside agents as well. And I think a lot of agents don't find clarity in their business plan. Real estate can take you from pillar to post. There's so many things, so many moving parts, especially today. I tell people, 23 years ago, it was easier, for at least in my opinion. There was 5 or 6 things you could do, right? 23 years ago in real estate. Hey, you're going to do open houses. You're going to go door knock. You're going to call. You're going to do expireds, FSBOs, whatever it is. Okay. Now with all the social media, you have people running around on their phones 24/7 with this in front of them. And so I love the question that you asked, or maybe not a question, statements. What are you doing that's actually going to move the needle? I gotta say that every day, because at the end of the day, it's really when you look at I tell agents, hey, get your phone out and look at your calendar. Are there any appointments on your calendar? Because if there's no appointments, I love what Morgan said. This is a 30, 60, 90-day business. If you don't have any appointments today, you're out of business 30, 60, 90 days from now, and entering 2025, you're going to be struggling. So, a lot of things Michelle and Morgan are sharing are very, very important for everybody to accept and internalize. So I think this, for me, it comes down to the basics of, first and foremost, the who. Who is your target market, your niche, your specialty, right? And to get there, though, I think an agent needs to sit down and really identify what their goals are, what they're passionate about, where their strengths are, right? Where they're truly going to wake up every day and invest in themselves, in their business. This is a shift I've had in my mindset over the years is, we used to give an agent a business plan and say, here, do these things, right? And we wonder why it goes in the trash in 30 days, right? Why the business plan's gone. They need to have ownership in their business plan. So I focus a lot on that today is you need to make sure this is a plan that you're going to commit to, and it better have, something you better know what your whys are, right? What's important to you in life? Is it keeping your mortgage paid? Is it putting your kid through college, right? And the stronger the whys, the more you're going to wake up every day and go to work and punch that clock. So I think the first thing for me is finding the who. Agents struggle. It's amazing to me still today. 90% of agents, even if they come to the office, which a lot of them don't, but they wake up every day and they don't even know who their target markets are, or their niches or specialties. They might post, they might throw some mud on the wall. You got to get clear with the who are. And then from there, once you identify the who, as long as, whether you're meeting with a Michelle or talking to a Morgan or somebody, and we know it's tried and true, right? That target market, whether it's a move down, right? I think 2025 is going to present a lot of opportunities with move down home owners, right? People that are living in a home right now, it's time for them to downsize, move down, but sit down and get really clear on the who. And then from there, I call it the how, right? So the who, the how, the what, and I know this may be real elementary, but how are you communicating with these people? What are your strategies, right? So once I identify the who, what are the strategies to get in front of these people? Is it social? Some of it's going to be social media. Is it mailing? Is it door knocking? Is it phone calling? How am I getting in front of these people? And the what is really the message. What is going to resonate with that audience, right? Don't just throw junk out there. What's the message that audience needs to hear? So I specialize a lot in farming, and in farming, you can really dissect your farm into having the right message for different demographics and psychographics within that farm, instead of just, again, throwing mud on the wall and blowing through a bunch of money. And so I think if you get clarity on your target markets, your niche specialties, and then the strategies, right, around those areas, and then have the right messaging, and you're consistent and frequent, two very important words. You have to be consistent, and with frequency, I think you're going to be successful in real estate, no question. It's the challenges. Agents try something, they don't like the taste of it, or they're not consistent enough with it. They try the next thing, and pretty soon, 6 months, a year, for a newer agent, especially, you're a year in the business, you're burnt out. You've tried 15 different things. None of them worked because you didn't focus on mastering any one thing. And so I focus a lot on mastery. Master your skill set. Once you identify it, let's get a system in place. I'm a systems guy. So you have to write it out and follow that system and make tweaks as you go. If something's not working, get with your coach, trainer, whatever, and say, hey, I mailed this out, nothing happened, or I door knocked this, let's talk about your scripts. What are you saying? So it's just fine tuning, but you have to start by identifying the who.
Absolutely. And I think too, like you said, don't just throw junk out there. And for me, you have to be intentional. What is the purpose, right?
You have to be from me.
I know. But
I love that word. You have to be intentional. I say that all the time. Thank you, Justin. You have to be intentional with what you're doing.
absolutely, yes. And there's got to be for the greater purpose, right? And it goes back to your why and getting that structured out in that sense. But Morgan, I definitely want to jump over to you with this as well. Is how do you narrow down whether you or the team and prioritize those tasks or revenue generating tasks that actually move the needle?
Yes, it's a really good point, and Damon brings up a great point. So I think anybody who's had success in real estate or starting out, you could look back and start to identify. But the thing you always have to keep in mind is we're all different. We're all individuals. We all have different strengths, weaknesses. We will all connect with different people in different ways. And so one of the things is, and just like Michelle said, identify maybe your niche market. And understand you can go beyond that and everything, but as you're identifying that who, you can say, okay, who do I see myself most likely working with over the next year? Who are the people at my church? Maybe I'm heavily involved in kid athletics or school systems or different things. And it's like, could I see myself working with these types of people? And starting to kind of identify that, and then formulating plans on ways to get in front of them and stay in front of them. Consistency is huge. Frequency of message is huge. Knowing what you are doing. And if you're totally new and you don't even quite know that yet, I mean, start identifying, again, your sphere of influence, all of those kind of things, which is good. But also, even open houses, it is really about, remember, because not everybody loves the word goals. Goals are intentions. When you're setting it out there and I'm intending to do this, and sometimes the path to it isn't always clear, but you're saying, I believe, because there's a great quote, I'm not going to remember it, but essentially, goals without action are worthless. And so any of your goals, you then have to break down, okay, what are my action items I'm going to take on a daily basis in order to hit this goal, and you want to refine that and get down, and appointments are key. Contacts are key. Appointments are better. And there's kind of a hierarchy here that you're going, we all need leads in this business, and you've got to, it's a total misnomer. See, the general public and everybody out there, they think that you get a real estate license and you stand in the middle of the road and you wave your arms and cars just pull over and people say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. And they feel they have this impression that it's easy, that it's super easy. Once I get licensed, smooth sailing, the train runs itself. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is sales. It is a grind. It's a daily grind. It's a weekly grind. It's a yearly grind. I'm 20 years in the business. It's still a grind. And you have to have that mindset. You have to understand that, there's going to be the longer you're in the business, you're going to get calls from repeat customers. But if you don't stay in front of them, you're also going to get, oh my gosh, they just sold that house that I sold them 3 years ago. What the hell, and if anybody who's in the business has felt that probably more than a few times, because it happens, and it's, it hurts, but it's your fault. You have to understand, it is all your fault. It's your fault for not staying in better touch with them. It's your fault for not understanding that they were getting ready to, have a life change or different things. And so anyway, going back though, you want to be consistent and intentional. And when even if you're new and you're choosing open houses, pick open houses that are going to attract the type of people that you relate with, that are in a neighborhood, get to know the neighborhood, make sure you understand it and the comps. And so your intentions start before you ever get in front of that individual. And so looking at that, and then for those of you that are working a little more seasoned and understand these things, one thing I think that has always helped me, or helped me a lot early on, is we started really getting intentional year after year of raising our price point. Now the market was going up, yes, but we knew each and every year we wanted to be selling more expensive homes and working with a little bit. And so going back 10 plus years, I mean, I had a goal of, here's my number of closings. I want 4 closings over $1 million. $1 million used to kind of be a luxury market, but and it's nice to get intentional around that. Well, how do I do that? And what I would also say is understand that it's you're climbing the stairs. I see some agents that kind of get in and they're like, I want to work luxury. I want to sell $5 million homes or $10 million homes. Great. Okay. Well, do you run in any luxury circles? No, not yet. Okay. So it's a stair step necessarily to get there. And you can take bigger leaps for certain. And there's certain things, but if you get intentional as your seasoned agent about starting to raise your price point, holding open houses in a more expensive neighborhood, knowing that more expensive neighborhood, what's the next step from there? Making sure you're dressed and your attire and your, the way you're presenting yourself is something that, a more luxury buyer is going to be attracted to. These are all little things as you get intentional around raising your price point year in and year out. And I think it's something that's maybe not talked about as much because people just say houses, luxury, and it's like, but there's a whole lot in between, and there's a lot of stairs in between that that can really help you go from, okay, I'm doing all right, to now I'm doing really well. I may be selling the same number of homes a year, but I've raised my price point from an average of 500 to 800, and now that's the difference.
For sure. And Morgan, you said something in the beginning that, we're all different and you got to really find what your kind of skill or good at. And I love the collaboration in the chat. And something that comes to mind is for systems and technology is even CRMs. If you're currently using a CRM that you're dreading to use because it's just clunky or doesn't work well for you or whatever the reason is, it's time to find one that works for you, whatever that may be, one that you're actually going to use, going forward. In this industry, we are sold shiny objects all the time. So don't be the agent that consistently is moving on to the next thing, but absolutely be intentional that if something's not working, you've got to swap it out, right? You got to change it up, because the biggest battle is even just coming to the table wanting to do it or implement those processes in there. I want to kind of jump over to continue the conversation for systems and technology, and would kind of like to hear more about what your daily, weekly, monthly systems that you guys have in place to keep your consistency in your productivity. In addition to, if you're willing to share a routine or a tool that's been a game changer for you. Damon, I'll jump in with you.
Yeah, for me, right now, my focus is implementing tangible, relatable, useful tools and resources for our team. So that has been my focus, really day in and day out. I haven't focused a lot on my own individual business. That's something I am just now getting started on, getting back to farming, back to some of the basics and in implementing systems there. But the great thing about that is as I create things for my own personal business, I'm able to share it with the team as long as it's tangible and relatable to them at some level. Right now, we invest in a state-of-the-art CRM, right? We Lofty, right? Formerly Chime. So I pay for Lofty for the team. And I will say our team's more connected now than it's ever been in looking outside in, with the resources and tools that Lofty's provided us, chat, features and things of that nature. So that really has been a focus of ours to get our agents in. Now, as we know, a CRM is only as good as you using it. So if an Excel spreadsheet is much more inspiring to you, then you're probably better off using an Excel spreadsheet, right? If you're not going to use a state-of-the-art CRM. So for us, though, it's really about, for me, it's about streamlining the process for our agents. What can we give you? What can we provide you that's going to get you into action instead of having you sit at the computer for 8 hours a day, trying to design something or create something. And so that has been a really big focus of mine, is what tools, without junking it up and without just launching a bunch of stuff. I think agents are overwhelmed with all of the bells and whistles, the shiny objects, as you just said, right? There's so many, even within, just within Realty One Group as a company, even with Rock Title as a title company. I mean, if you look at all the bells and whistles that they offer, it's important to, sit down with your agents or at least get with them and say, okay, what's going to benefit you right now in your business? Don't try to do all these at one time. So when we do classes, one of the, my focuses is before the class is over, a lot of times I'll sit and I'll say, okay, everybody, I want you to write down the 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're going to focus on when you leave this classroom, because we just went over 20 different things. And I know that if you leave and you go try to focus on all those 20, guess what you end up doing? Zero. You end up doing none. So prioritize. Go, baby, one step at a time. Go put down the 1 or 2, 3 things, depends on how big the item is. Go focus on that and then revisit the other ones, right? That you need to focus on after you've implemented those. But for me right now, it's really about creating systems for our agents, farming systems, expired systems, expired listing systems, of course, buyer guides, seller guides. Everything for me really is a system. So we've just invested in putting this stuff into our back office. So we create shareable links, template links, and everything else where our agents can grab, like the newsletter Rock Title does. Perfect example is my agents don't have to complete that newsletter. I go and I complete it. I put all the market stats and everything else for Las Vegas, and I share it with them in a shareable template link. So all they have to do is change their photo, phone number, email, and they can get it out to the database. And I've heard several success stories from our agents come back saying, Damon, I've gotten 5 calls, or I've gotten, connected with this many people from that. So for me, it's about streamlining processes for our agents at the highest level right now.
I love that. Morgan, I want to jump back over to you really quick and see what, routine or tool that's been a game changer for you, or your daily, weekly, I guess we can even call it habits, right?
Yeah. Going back to this, whether it's whatever you are currently using, for a CRM, just, understand, I said it before on stage not too long ago, but really your database is your data bank, right? This is, we've implemented a number of different things, obviously, listing presentation, buyer presentation, and that is one of the advantages perhaps of working with a team, is a lot of this stuff is done for you. And it's kind of, very plug and play, and looking at that. And so that's something to kind of evaluate. But at the same time, if you're out there on your own, a lot of it, it's all out there, right? You've got to kind of pick and choose, and don't get too bogged down in the weeds. Because like Justin said, there's a shiny object syndrome in real estate, and you will be sold 1,000 different things for just $99 a month. And if it just leads to one deal, but you can get really just hosed by that. One of a key thing that we implemented years ago, and our agents use, and it's amazing, is we call it a hot sheet, right? And so this is where you are taking your top prospects, your top people, those who you think you've got the best opportunity to close a deal with, and putting them on a sheet of paper, or a spreadsheet on your computer with some details, right? So that they are top of mind and top of focus. And then you want to break that down. And I like to put kind of like a timeline with them. Okay, here's who I think my top prospects for the next 90 days are. These are the people that I'm looking at. And then I go out, like, what about 6 months? And then I want to keep those people within a year. But these are really individuals, less than 12 months, right? For the most part, it's not a bad thing to have people that are longer out on there. I mean, if you have, and then your goal on a weekly, daily basis is to add more people to your hot sheet, to add more people on there, and make sure you're following up with them. And, you're kind of, sometimes you're moving people up, or maybe you're moving them down, different things. But the point is, you're not losing focus. And some of these people that you talk to, because right now you're maybe connecting with people and they say, yeah, maybe in the spring, I'm looking to do something and all of that. Well, you can lose sight of these people pretty easily and find out that they bought a house 2 months ago. And you don't want to do that. That's where your CRM comes in and your different things. But if you can just focus on a hot sheet, and get intentional around it in different ways, and focus on adding people on there, booking appointments, it also gives you direction, big or small, to say, okay, are all of these people taken care of? Have I done things that I need to do to facilitate this sale? Now, what else can I move to? Because, and so that's been something. But going back to your CRM, your database, again, we all need to continuously be adding people at the top end of the funnel. And that's a lead system of someone. If you're holding open houses, treat them like your office. Don't just hold open houses one time a week from 1 to 3, hold longer open houses, be there more times during the week. Treat neighbors as some of your best potential clients. As they come in, you want to get to know them a little bit. That's the thing. If you're there consistently and a neighbor sees you're putting in the work consistently, they're more likely to, if they just meet you once and they never see any activity there again, maybe not. But if they see that you are consistent day in and day out, holding that open house, working to get the home sold, when it comes time for them to list, they're more likely, to give you a call. And so get there, you have time on your hands. If it's slow, make some reach outs, touch your SOI, do your things. But you can really hold an open house and treat it like your office. And then, like Damon said, work to be adding people to your hot sheet, and furthermore, appointments to that calendar each and every day, each and every week.
Yeah, I love that point, especially, I know we're talking a lot about database, but it's such a lifeblood of the business. As you guys are taking notes today or jumping into your business planning, what is your daily goal of adding into that database, or weekly goal, right? Is it 5 new people a week, right? Start small, grow from there. But to Morgan's point, right, you always have to be feeding the beast. You always have to be putting more contacts in there. The more conversations you have, the more deals that are going to lead to you. So you just got to make sure that you increase that. I know we're running a little bit out of time, but Michelle, I want to jump over to you real quick and kind of switch over to motivation and mindset. As we know, this business in itself can be mentally draining sometimes, or just emotionally draining, or defeating in some ways. So, how do you keep yourself motivated, especially, obviously through the slower time that we have seen, or in challenging markets, but how do you keep yourself going?
The people I surround myself with, the things I do, my habits, my training. Self-development is super, super important. During COVID, I did a self-development assessment to kind of figure out who I am, what my strengths were, and what my purpose is. And I think that people need to do that, but they also need to kind of grow in that. So for example, I learned that I was an encourager, right? So that's where the business coach then came from, right? So knowing who we are truly, truly, and developing that is important. And also, part of my daily habits are sales training. I think that as agents, we don't know what to say. We don't know what to say or how to say it. So some of the resources that I have allow me to train every single day, so I can learn how to negotiate. And what was the other part of your question, Justin?
Just in general, how do you keep yourself motivated, especially during the slower times? But I think one of your points, and we kind of talked about this earlier, but surrounding yourself around that, and to Morgan's point of, if you want to sell luxury homes or up your price point,
Yeah.
like, what does that group look like? Who are you surrounding yourself, or what associations or clubs or groups
Yeah.
are you getting involved in, so that you can start to get into that mix? But that definitely goes hand in hand with mindset as well, because right, I'm like Morgan, I can't remember the quote completely, but who you surround yourself is kind of a reflection of your life.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes, I think we have imposter syndrome sometimes. And I think that sometimes believe we don't belong in a room. And that's our own limited beliefs, our own limited mindset. Like, it has a lot to do with positive affirmations and the things that you're telling yourself. Like, we're lying to ourselves when we say that we can't do something. Most of us are operating from a position of fear. Right? And fear is an energy. It's an energy, and it stays fear until you convert it to something else. What are we scared to do? We're scared to take the action. We're scared to host the open. We're scared to place the phone call. We're scared to reach out to that person that asked us to reach out to them. And what happens is, when you take the step and you take that fearful action, that energy of fear converts itself to an energy of passion, excitement, and confidence. So the most important thing that we all need to do as agents is to do things scared. Let the fear be what guides you in the direction that you need to go in, right? Because there's only growth when we're stepping out of our comfort zones. So we have to do the things that scare the living Jesus out of us. And I do also want to say that sometimes we're out here looking for hot leads, but we don't understand that people conduct real estate transactions during milestones in their life, right? The D's of real estate, divorce, diplomas, death. So it's about us using this tool right here to contact everyone we know. The list, like Morgan said, is the most valuable thing, the hot sheet. The most valuable thing that you can have that belongs to a person is their email address, their phone number, and their full name, right? And then you're going to touch these people 30 times a year. The reason you're touching them is so that when these milestones are happening and they're like, oh, I need to, they're not picking you because they like you. They're picking you because you're the only one they can think of because you touched them 30 times. So when Damon is talking about the who is people that might potentially have a kid graduating, people that might potentially be getting divorced with those probate lists, people that are buying their first home, getting married, getting engaged, having their first baby. These are all personal things that are happening in people's lives, and they're always emotional things. So as you are touching these people, you got to make sure that you stand out and that you're the one that they're picking when they go through these milestones and a real estate transaction needs to take place. It's the opposite. We're looking for hot leads and we don't realize that we need to be of service to everybody we know so that then when they need something, they're calling us. I mean,
Don't leave any stone unturned. Always opportunity somewhere in there. David, before we finish up, I want to hear from you as well. How defeat or just stay motivated, especially with a large team like you have. How do you stay motivated on a daily basis?
Yeah, I love the question. A couple of stats real quick though. 80% of people will do business with the same agent they did with in the past. 10% did because of what Morgan was talking about, the follow-up, not staying in touch. So make sure that you're staying in touch with your database so you don't get that dreaded phone call, right? That I bought or sold with somebody else, right? The other thing real quick, daily disciplines. I know I'm taking off from your question a little bit, but you have to identify your daily disciplines. You agents don't know what they're supposed to do every day. You should, if you have your business plan done, you have your goals set, break it out to, we were just talking about how many people are you adding to your database every day. My number for my team is find 3 to 5 people every day that you're going to add. And you have to have contact information, as Michelle just said, you have to have phone number, email, all that to be able to add them in there. We actually keep a hot sheet, as Morgan was talking about as well, our 0 to 30 days, 0 to 60 and 0 to 90 day prospects and further on. So that is huge as well. But you have to have your daily disciplines. You should know how many contacts you need to make in order to get a listing appointment or in order to get a buyer. Set your open house up as an office. I love that. Just went over that in our class last week. Nobody's walking into your real estate office anymore saying, I want to buy or sell. Go take your busy work and go out and do an open house and start talking to people. Sharpen your skills. With that, how do I stay motivated? I think morning routines are very important. I think, I'm reading right now Atomic Habits, great book. If you guys, haven't read it or if you want to check it out, I think reading, exercise is very important. I think most of us all know that, there's chemicals in our body that, react when we get up into action and move around and you start creating that bulletproof mindset. As Michelle was saying, get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Yep. I think if you're putting yourself in the right state of mind, whether your call expires, if you have that morning routine and you feel a little bit more invincible, you're willing to do the things that you normally would not do, on a regular basis and to start expanding and start growing yourself as well. So I think getting up, being inspired, inspiration is very important for me. I look for things that inspire me, family, personal life, not just business, helping an agent. So I look around, my life and say, what inspires me? Why do I need to go and light the world on fire? And if you have that inspiration, we hear it every day. People that aren't productive one day, they find that why in their life and they're off in action. It's a totally different person. So find your inspirations in life, those whys, and that'll help. And have a great morning routine. Get out of bed, get to, whether it's reading, meditating, exercising, start off the day right.
Absolutely. And just I know we talked a little bit about fear, but I feel like a lot of us fear communication in terms of that follow-up, right? And prospecting and, am I going to overwhelm them? But the amount of stories that I hear and see of going back and adding into your database your past clients. You're going through and adding them in, and then you realize, oh man, they sold with somebody else, right? Because you didn't stay in front of them. You didn't stay top of mind. So, I always say you have to out communicate the competition. The only reason you should be fearing communicating is if you're not providing value. If you're just throwing junk out there, then yes, right? You got to be different. You got to stand out, and you have to provide value first. They will appreciate it. They will absolutely appreciate it. I know it's 12:01, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up with one more question to the group here. But before I do that, I want everyone to throw something in the chat box that you're taking away from today that you heard. What is something that resonated with you, or the aha moment, or the light bulb went off that you want to implement in your business? I love the collaboration in the chat box today, so go and throw that in there. But Morgan, I want to see, what is one piece of advice? It's hard to narrow it down to one, but what is one piece of advice that you would give to the group today for 2025?
Okay, I'm gonna go back with something Michelle and Damon talked about. But guys, it is, it all starts with your mindset. I mean, seriously, it's like, and I know there's days it can be tough and that, but it's the consistency of putting yourself in there. You cannot or overemphasize the amount that where you need just some positive mental mindset. You've got to work on that kind of continuously and feed your mind, whether it's, podcasts that are inspirational, just different things. An amazing book, if you've never read it, is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And I think it is so applicable to real estate, and anybody starting or at a point in their real estate career. You've got to read that book, because he talks about everything that adds up. It's so applicable to real estate. It's daily activities that over the long haul will pay off. You might not always see it, but it's putting in the work day in, day out, understanding the things you need to be do. But it's such a great book. There's a lot of great books out there, but that one is super good. The team members that I've suggested it to that have read it and implemented it have seen hockey stick growth in their business in just a couple of short years, because it is that powerful. And it starts with, like you said, I mean, we all have fears. We all have imposter syndrome all the time. I mean, this is like the number one thing we as humans could do is learn to get over our fears and not let them, hold us back as much as they do, because it's all bullshit. I mean, whatever. The fears are ridiculous. And we all have them, like, all the time, no matter what point of your stage you are. And so it's all that. And so the more, we can feed our brain, feed our mind with positive things, whether it's affirmations, exercise, all these different things, it all works, but you have to do it. And that's the tough part for some people. And is the consistency of doing it. But even in small doses, it will make a huge difference. And so, get to working on that mindset, read books, podcasts, things like this, things that are going to inspire you to get out, put in the action. And you know what? You've got to try. You've got to continuously try. You will never regret trying.
Huge. That is so relevant for a lot of us, that you got to try. And I agree. The Compound Effect is such a fantastic book, and it really is those small things. They add up, man. Those small wins, those small tasks and activities, they really add up to the big picture. Michelle, what is one piece of advice that you want to give to the group for 2025?
Kind of ties back with Morgan. Stop listening to your own bullshit and do the things you've never done to have the things you've never had. Atomic Habits, Compound Effect for sure. And then my favorite that changed my life was Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone.
Yeah, great book.
Me just call myself out on my BS. And what I want to say too is that it's okay to open the book and read it, right? But turn your car into a training place. Like we're always commuting. Turn off the music, turn off the XM, turn on a podcast, turn on an Audible book, and turn your car into a training space. When you're feeding your mind all the things that it needs, it will become your language and your verbiage, right? Like whatever you're putting in is what's going to start coming out of your mouth. So I do recommend listening to those books on Audible first, put them on repeat, and then go get the one you open and read it while you're listening, right? We got to eat it, sleep it, breathe it, inject it, all of it. We have to immerse ourselves in our industry. When we feel salesy, it's because we don't know what we're doing and we don't know our product. So if there's lack of confidence, it's because there's a skill set that you're lacking and you need to go train in that.
I love that. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of opportunities. Right? Like you said, we commute a lot. Even for me, like if I'm on a plane or Uber or whatever it is, I'm constantly consuming something. That's like my time to take in the information and just learn something new. Damon, what's something, a piece of advice that give to the world today?
Won't repeat all these amazing, what these amazing people just gave you. I'm going to give you a couple of real basics is surround yourself with successful people, right?
Mhm.
Surround yourself with the right people and remove the wrong people from your life, okay, or your surroundings. And then treat your business like a business. Wake up every day, go to work and treat your business like a business. You have so many tools, resources, coaching, resources, business planning, all that. If you simply wake up with the mindset of treat your business like a business, you're going to start leveraging a lot of what was shared today, and you're going to see success. You're going to start to see yourself grow in real estate.
I love it. That's awesome. I can't thank you guys enough, Michelle, Damon, and Morgan, for jumping on this with us today. Fantastic discussion. I know the group got a lot out of it, just looking at the chat box on the things that they're taking away. But guys, this is just a start, right? Don't just attend today to take in the information, but like we talked about earlier, you have to put it into action. What are those action items? Nothing extraordinary that was done easily or without work. So you got to make sure that you now take this information and put it into work in your business today. So that is part of your business plan, is to actually do your business plan, whether it's a one page or just writing it down, getting on the notepad, but you gotta schedule the time. Damien, you want to, yeah, please.
Just a couple more words. Morgan already said this word I love, or you said it, Justin. Create clarity for yourself. You'll get clear on what you're doing every day, okay? What your business is about, and then be intentional with your actions. So that's
I love that. Get clear. That's a huge part of today too, right? The clarity is what when you're doing something, you have to think to yourself, is this revenue generating, or is this serving the greater good? Is this, what purpose is this? What's the intention behind it on there? So again, I can't thank you guys enough. I applaud everybody on the call for showing up today and taking time to work on your business, so that we can all have an amazing 2025. This was recorded. We will have this out in the next day or so to everybody. But thank you again. I really appreciate you attending, and to the panelists, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you for
everybody.
having us. Truly
Have an
appreciate
amazing
it.
end of the year, an amazing 2025.
Yeah, look us up on social if you need anything. And then this QR code is to a new project I'm working on called the Busy Mom Show magazine. And I plan on putting all my links in there. So let me know. I'm open to your feedback as well. And Justin, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Damon, how can people get a hold of you?
Oh, you can reach me by phone, 702-265-7118. You'll be amazed. Don't be shocked when I answer the phone.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, Damon's in the Nevada market. Morgan, how can we get a hold of the Mojo team?
Yeah, that's awesome. So here in Scottsdale, Arizona, you can find us under Mojo Scottsdale, or that's the Instagram handle. That's also the YouTube channel, things like that. So I believe that'll take you to our link tree and different things. So yeah, come and give us a follow. Reach out with questions. We're Josh, my business partner, open book. So just anytime, we're happy. But like I said, guys, real estate, the thing is, you are in the greatest industry where there is more opportunity here than anything else you could be doing. Okay. It's there for the taking if you put in the time and the work. And those of you that are doing it, it can be a grind, but it's also can be the most rewarding. You get the opportunity to work with amazing people, get to know new amazing people, expand your areas of influence in life. I mean, it's like, it's really been, you know, something, but, you know, you get out of it what you put into it. And that's true each and every year of your career.
I
So
love it. Great opportunity lies ahead.
Yeah,
Have
Justin,
a fantastic, yeah, go ahead.
you guys can find us also on caldwellgroup.place online as well for online people. If you don't want to give me a call or shoot me a text, but caldwellgroup.place, that'll take you to our hub there. That's our agent platform. You'll find the outer facing. Once you join our family, of course, you have the back office with our team, but caldwellgroup.place.
I love it.
awesome.
Have
All
a
right,
fantastic,
everybody smile for a screenshot. Got it.
have a fantastic day, guys. Go out there and change someone's life. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care,
Okay.
guys.
See ya.